Wow, that is deep. 2026, why don't they even happy say this is done pure? So it's even far. That was my dream. Thank you. Bah, that's all.
Well, my name is Ayo. I don't feel it's actually a bad thing for a man to actually fan his wife. Because obviously you married her, you loved her, you married her, there's a connection. There's a, how do you call it again, one sir? There is one thing that there's a bond between you and your wife. So if you fan your wife, what is there? Well, okay, fine. If she's not pregnant to go and you're rubbing her stomach or you're cooking for her, would they call it a crime? I don't think it's actually a crime.
My name is Ololade, and I do not see anything wrong in a man fanning his wife. You married her because of love. You married her to take care of her. I don't see any bad thing, any offense in a man fanning his wife. What if you see a man massaging his wife's feet? What would you think? He has been charmed? No, now. It's just love, pure love, and just plain love, like love. At least the lady massages her husband, they don't see anything bad in it. She cooks for him, even if that one too is normal, but they don't see anything bad in it. So I don't see anything bad in a man fanning his wife.
My name is Marvelous. I don't see the man as being jobless. Life, we were given choice. This is this man's choice of proving to his wife that he loves her. Some people cannot prove their love that way by fanning their wife. They see it as maybe the wife is making him feel jobless or something. But this time around, it's his own choice. He wants to do it. I'm not sure a wife will force her husband to fan her. So it was his choice to fan the wife. So life is all about choice. If this man chooses to fan his wife, please let him do so. And let's stop with this nasty attitude. Yeah.
My name is Messi. There's absolutely nothing wrong in a man fanning his partner. Right? It's friendship. Love is friendship. Love is making each other comfortable. Love is sacrifice. So there's nothing wrong in my partner fanning me or me fanning him. It doesn't make sense to make a big deal out of nothing.
My name is Marvelous, and I don't see a guy fanning his girlfriend or somewhat. I don't see it as being jobless or whatever. Maybe it's his way of showing that he truly loves her or he cares for her. And if it's in a case where he's a wife and she's pregnant, it's just like being part of whatever she's carrying. Also, like you just want to like make your own contribution to like to like ease the pain or whatever. And if it's your girlfriend, there's like nothing wrong. Especially in this country where there's heat, like you can't even do anything. I don't see anything bad in it.
My name is Destiny Charles. Concerning the guy fanning his girlfriend, I see it as a romantic stuff, not kind of joblessness. Because that is to show that the guy is a romantic man. So.
My name is Charlie Boy, the area father, the father of the youth, the very one of Africa, yeah, and the president of all frustrated Nigerians. I'm glad to be here, and if you want to know what's happening, keep it locked down on IBAN TV, and that's the way we rock.
IBRAN TV. Business first.
Good morning and welcome to iBrand Daybreak. It's Thursday and we're a step into the weekend. I'm sure you had an amazing night rest. Yes, I had an amazing night rest, and I'm happy to be on your screens this beautiful Thursday morning. My name is Margaret Opera, and I don't have Michael Nat here. I have with me Perpetual. Good morning, Perpetual.
Wonderful morning to you. My name is Perpetua Fasami Peter. You look radiant.
You look amazing, Perpetua. I've missed you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
How are you? Yeah, fine.
Beg your pardon. Very well, thank you. Well, it's Thursday morning, and you know what to expect every Thursday on iBrand Daybreak. It's Perpetua and Margaret.
Yeah.
Okay, I've not done my signature dance today. I need to start.
Okay,
with it.
maybe you.
Okay, so just imagine you're listening to your best song. So let's go.
All right, Pep. Yeah.
Okay, so for today, as you always know, we'll have the newspaper update, and the news update, beg your pardon. After that, the newspaper review, and after the newspaper review, we'll have the topic of discussion for today. And guess what? Today's discussion is steaming hot. You don't want to miss it. Steaming hot. You don't want to miss it. And after that, we'll have the entertainment corner, and after the entertainment corner, you know what to expect: the social media buzz. And I think we get right away that we get into the news update for today. Margaret, you want to start for us?
All right. Yeah, the news update says now the team of lawyers representing the leader of the prosecuted, or rather the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, on Wednesday staged a walkout before the trial opened. Now, counsel to the Attorney General of the Federation, Muhammad Abubakar, told Justice Binta Yako, following the non-appearance of any lawyer on Kanu's behalf shortly after the case was called. Abubakar called the court that Kanu's counsel, led by Ifeanyi Ejiofor, staged a walkout because some of the lawyers, including the American lawyer Bruce Fien, were denied access. And also speaking, Kanu told the court that in the previous sitting, his foreign lawyer Fien, was also denied access.
All right, and moving on to the next story for today. The Senate has called on the Plateau House of Assembly to be guided by the rule of law and the Constitution in all legislative business. This, the Senate said, was to deepen democracy and uphold the independence of the legislature as an arm of government. The Senate said it was necessary, particularly where it affects the appointment and impeachment of a presiding officer. The resolution was sequel to a motion sponsored by Estefanos Gyang during plenary. The Speaker of the Assembly, Abok Ayuba, was on October 27 impeached by 8 of the 24 members of the legislature. The Deputy Speaker, Saleh Yipmong, who presided over the unusual sitting, elected Yakubu Sanda as the new Speaker.
Now, the Center for Human Rights and Civic Education has concluded plans for receipt of a grant expected to promote the rights of original inhabitants of the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking during the signing ceremony, the Executive Director of SHE said, Ibrahim Sikulahi, stated that the 800 million naira grant provided for the MacArthur Foundation will be available to 9 organizations who have been vetted and cleared for the project. He, however, added that his organization will keep close watch to monitor the progress of the project.
At the end of today's ceremony, a total of 9 original habitat organizations will be signing grants to implement various projects targeted at addressing the entrenched political, economic, and cultural marginalization of the original inhabitants of the FCT. I'm therefore pleased to inform that a total sum of 800 million naira has been granted to the 9 organizations and their technical partners, which have been assessed and approved for this project following a scoping study of organizations led by FCT original inhabitants and those working directly on their respective issues. CRASED is confident that the process we have begun would effectively and sustainably position the original inhabitants in the FCT to address the root causes of the decades-long marginalization, discrimination, and other pervasive forms of human rights violations. As such, the various grants to be signed today represent a diversity of initiatives which would collectively address the injustices meted against the original inhabitants.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has called on government to consider children with disabilities while making policies. UNICEF made a call on Wednesday in its report titled Nearly 240 million children with disabilities around the world, UNICEF's most comprehensive statistical analysis finds. The report revealed that 1 in 10 children with disabilities worldwide are being deprived of education, health care, and other social benefits. As a result, UNICEF has called on government bodies to ensure that children with disabilities are consulted and considered in decision-making processes. Its recent report is aimed at increasing the inclusion of the 1 in 10 children and young people with disabilities worldwide by ensuring they are counted, consulted, and considered in decision-making.
All right, that's all we can take on the news updates at this hour. We'll take a very short break now. When we come back, we'll review some top stories on our National Day this morning.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby. Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes? I have a solution for you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
She knows how to cook the banga. Not going to enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga efo riro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali banga, natural palm fruit extracts for tasty African cuisine.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do na make you go for the up, open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again, my brother no waste time again. Just go buy banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, and make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447, 080 35 64 4436, 070 66 63 8213. Banga Fresh Palm Fruit Extract.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense.
All right, now we have the newspaper review. So we're starting with the Punch newspaper for today. On the Punch paper, the first story here reads, Nigeria's debt stock hits 42.7 trillion naira. Senate took its fresh $16 billion loans. And then we have riders. Why we increased Buhari's loan request by $12 billion, says Senator. And that's according to experts. Moving away from that story, we have other ones here. Buhari, Ngige, Ozigbo, others congratulate Soludo on governorship poll victory. APC governors lobby Malami to stop Buhari from signing electoral bill. CBN clamps down on crypto companies, BDCs, shorts accounts.
And now to this day says, Soludo, I'll hit the ground running with my agenda. That's the top story here. Then the writer saying, promises quality leadership. The factors have started begging to come back, says Oye. Buhari to governor-elect. I look forward to working with you. Fayemi, Saraki, Gbajabiamila, Ozigbo, Uba, others congratulate winner. TMG demands improved INEC equipment to end vote buying. And now moving further, Malami, federal government not ruling out political solution on Kanu and Igboho. That's on page 2 of this day. Now it says, Upward says, Buhari, Nigeria's economy outlook bright, viable to attract FDIs. Senate approved Buhari's $16 billion and €1 billion external loan request. That's on page 5. FEC approved 5-year national development plan, targets 348.7 trillion investments, with the rider saying 298.3 trillion to be contributed by private sector. And that's on page 26 of this day.
Moving down to the Nation, beg your pardon. On the Nation paper, governors can't back out of Paris Club debt, and that's coming from Malami. We have two writers to that story. Controversy rages over consultancy fee. Another writer says AGF states paying already. Moving on to some other stories on the Nation paper for today. CBN plans single-digit loans for manufacturers. Now that sounds good. Moving away from that one, Lagos Ogun Bauchi cannot be NDDC member states. That's an interesting one. You want to pick a copy of the paper and get that story on page 5. Also, on page 4, we have Buhari to French investors, Nigeria economy viable. Also, on the Nation paper this morning, Buhari, Ngige Ohaneze, others greet Soludo. We have gunmen killed 22 in Imo, Kaduna, Katsina attacks. That's a sad one on page 3 of the Nation paper for today.
Now to the Guardian, the story here says Senate okays Buhari's $16 billion and $125 million loan requests without terms. The writers are saying World Bank report shows massive gaps in system to track poor countries' debts. FEC okays 2011 to 2025 National Development Plan worth 348.7 trillion naira. External reserves to surpass $42 billion mid-year next, says Emefiele. Buhari, Fayemi, Ozigbo, others congratulate Soludo, and that's on page 5 of page 2 rather of the Guardian. And by the side says insolent Nigerian law school from politics. Wike tells Senate. That's on page 4. Government killed 12 others, destroyed property in Katsina. Court adjourns Kanu trial to January 19th as lawyers stage a walkout. Page 8 now says Lagos says no directive to demolish remaining Ikoyi high-rise buildings. And that's it on the Guardian paper.
All right, now checking out the stories for today. Let's go to the Nation paper. There is this story that talks about CBN planning single-digit loans for manufacturers. For me, I would say that's a very good one because when you look at the manufacturing industry, it's bedeviled by a lot of challenges. Power is one of it, and apart from power, even forex, getting dollars, getting the exchange rate and all of that, that's a challenge they've been going through for a while now. So if the federal government is saying that in the area of loan, in the area of funds, they're going to ensure that they will make funds available to them, single digits, I think that's a very, very good one. It will really encourage the manufacturing sector, and it will actually make them do more. And when we look at this particular story, it says we want to ensure that the manufacturing sector can access capital at a single digit rate of not more than 9%. That's a very, very beautiful. It will encourage a lot of people because there are persons who, of course, I am privy to a particular manufacturing industry here in Nigeria. And unfortunately, they've had to lay off a lot of their staff. And the major challenge they're having is access to forex. That's the major challenge they're having. And if you have this conversation with a lot of people in that sector, they'll tell you that a lot of things are happening behind the scene. Situations where some persons, maybe because of their position or because of influence, they're able to access funds faster than the other people. So at the end of the day, you find out that there is no equality. People are not, they're not put, there's no level playing field for manufacturers to play. At the end of the day, these manufacturers that are beginning to lay off people, and it's going to have a ripple effect on the economy, because these are people who probably they were breadwinners in their prospective families, and now when they are being laid off, it's going to affect them, and a lot of other things. Has its own ripple effect. It's my hope and my belief that with this single-digit loan, which will be made accessible to manufacturers, a lot of things will also be addressed. A lot of other issues will be addressed. I mean, this is the first in the right direction, and we're hoping that other things will come up definitely.
Yeah, I actually think the Nigerian needs manufacturers now more than ever. You know, with the rise in forex, of course, the dollar, the Nigerian naira keeps depreciating in the markets every single time. Now, someone came on the show, I think that was on Monday, and he said that Nigeria literally imports every single thing, including toothpick, as little as toothpick is. So right now, Nigeria needs manufacturing companies, manufacturers more than ever, because we can't keep importing these things because the dollar keeps increasing and Nigerian's naira is losing value. So if this company, like you said, more accessing loans these days, more like a man no man thing. You need to know someone there to be able to access loans, which is not supposed to be. So now this is a welcome development, but if they can maintain the aim for bringing this thing, it's one thing to come up to say we're going to give accessible loans, single digits, and then accessing these things will now be a problem. Because I remember one time
that's another
I had an interview with when the government came out to say that they have a particular kind of fund for farmers, agriculturalists. I had an interview with a female, she really nice big farm, and she said the government came to say this, but it was more like a lip service because they don't even have access to these loans we're talking about. But it was everywhere in the news. We are going to do this for farmers, agriculture, the next oil in Nigeria, oil boom and agriculture boom. We're going to do this farmers accessible loans. But she said presented a lot of evidence, says we don't even access to these loans. It's more like the high and mighty who already have these things are the ones who can access these loans, while the farmers who even need those who need these things can't even access it. So it's one thing to say you give single digit loans to these people, but another thing is accessing it. Is it going to be fair? Equity, equality.
So.
We hope so. Anyway.
We really hope so. I mean, that's very, very important, because making funds available and accessible actually makes a lot of things work. And like we rightly said earlier, there is nothing as good as having a level playing ground for people. I mean, for people, that's have to be. If only that I can't start mentioning names now, because I mean the person who told me this thing was really pained. Thankfully, she was not affected by the layoff and all, but she was actually sharing some deep stuff about how that some people don't even have a problem, like the government does everything to get forex and other things available to them, while every other person, nobody cares. So really, I would really advocate that we should have level playing field for these guys. So at the end of the day, it's Nigeria. Really, sometimes I ask, do you know at the end of the day, it's Nigeria that is being affected?
Correct.
It's not those companies. It affects the company, but there's a ripple effect
on the economy of Nigeria.
Exactly. So if we really want to move from a consumer economy to an economy that produces and can, do certain things on its own, then we need to stop paying lip service to things that would make the industry or the sector work more.
And I also think it should be more, the word should be, the small scale businesses should have more access to these things, because everyone needs a loan per se, but the small scale businesses, the more like they're just starting and they need this more than. So imagine someone who has almost every single thing you need in a manufacturing company comes to, because he knows someone, comes to access this loan, and you who maybe you just started a few years ago and you need this loan more to be able to boost up your, of course, to be able to get equipment, get manufacturing products. I think small scale business should be the focus right now. Since there are no jobs and people are trying to create jobs for themselves, I think they should be encouraged in their line.
Well, that's interesting. Talking about small-scale businesses, I totally align with your thoughts and with your thought. And also, when you were talking about that agriculture woman, I was trying to be careful, because there's also this thing about rules and regulations, setting guidelines for accessing these loans. So I wasn't there, so I don't know what she said. But then, if there are guidelines that we need to follow, I think we should follow that. One of them actually is about your books. I mean, your bookkeeping and all of that, your bookkeeping and everything has to be record keeping, everything has to be top notch, and you really need to prove to them that you actually need these funds and some of these other things basically. So just like we have said already on the show today, it's our hope that we move on from here. It's not just enough to give them 1-digit loan. We hope that other things will also be put in place so that at the end of the day, we'll move from a consumer economy to a producing economy
for the good of Nigeria.
Exactly.
Everybody living in Nigeria. I think that's the basic point, and that's where it all ends.
Yes, sure. Definitely. All right, now we're going to a very quick time out, and when we come back, we have an interesting discussion today. I told you before, now you shouldn't miss it. Guess what? I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. Just stay with us. We'll tell you what it is after now.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services, and meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming True unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your True unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix True unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. True unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, gbegiri, ewedu, or your miyan kuka. To get your True unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder bus stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663-8213 or 081-6397-4447. Distributors are needed nationwide.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's True unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, True unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
True unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. True unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes? I have a solution for you.
Really? You sabi cook the banga. No go enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga efo riro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali banga, natural palm fruit extract for tasty African cuisine.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for now. Una don hear of banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do now make you go for the open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again. My brother no waste time again. Just go buy banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447, 080 35 64 4436, 070 66 63 8213. Banga Fresh Palm Fruit Extract.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neil. I found Blemiville, and now my skin finally makes sense.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services, and meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming True unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your True unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix True unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. True unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, gbegiri, ewedu or your miyan kuka. To get your True unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder bus stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663-8213 or 081-6397-4447. Distributors are needed nationwide.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's True unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, True unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare. Fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
True unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. True unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
Glad to know you're still with us. Now, I told you that the topic for discussion today is quite interesting. So let's jump right in. Dealing with a stingy partner can be utterly frustrating. You know, there's a thin line between being careful about money and really being stingy. While it's always good to spend money wisely, you know, being too thoughtful about parting ways with money can be a very, very painful experience. From a social media user, having a stingy husband is the height of it. Do you know, my mom told me about how his dad would buy 2 bars of yam, hide it in his room, and when he cut small out of it for cooking, he'll put a mark on it so that no one else can cut it without his knowledge. Oh no, I'm feeling for that family. You say, all right. Now, that was my reaction when I said, you can actually see how I reacted now. Well, that's by the way, really, that's just to tell you that so many people act in funny and amazing ways when it comes to parting with their monies, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So today we're looking at how do you deal with a stingy partner? Like, how on earth do you deal with a stingy partner? Well, we're not going to be talking about this alone. It's not just Margaret and me. We also have with us Mary Chinda in the building. Hi, Mary. First I need to inaugurate her. I have a signature dance. I'm not a good dancer, but I like to make myself feel good by doing this signature dance. So you're welcome.
That's the way that you're cutting. It's not like someone's cutting yam, you know.
Exactly.
All right, Mary. Good morning. Welcome. A nice stuff you have there.
Thank you. Thank you. And you guys are doing so amazing.
Thank you too.
I was watching the show and I'm like, oh, great conversations. I mean, it's good to know that we can have less serious conversations. Nigeria is serious enough.
So serious, right?
Living in this country is a lot of hard work.
And you don't need to put it on the show anymore.
I tell you.
Okay, so basically, have you even had that experience before? I mean, look at what that woman talked about. The father, beg your pardon, who cuts yam, hides it, and I don't get it.
That's absurd.
I never heard. Unfortunately, I come from a family where my father is the protector and the provider.
Whoa,
key rules of a man.
yes.
Provider, he protects you, then he provides for you. So the woman is comfortable because, you see, we women are not wired to be the providers.
Okay.
When God made us, he didn't make us to provide. So you see, that's why a man has much macho muscles, you got muscles for farming, for working, for all. So we are, you know, in those days of our fathers, our great grandparents, you would find out that they go to do the hard work. The women tend to the home. So we didn't have plenty of divorces. We didn't have plenty of issues in marriage. We had women who were homekeepers because the woman was in her place. She was the in Igbo they call it Odoziako. You know, she was the housekeeper. She was the keeper of wealth. She was the one who her ministry was to serve the man and to serve the children, while the man assumes his macho, muscular, patriarchal, masculine role of being the provider for the woman and for the children and for the extended families. And then those days the husbands would even have 2 wives, 3 wives. You know, so he was not stingy. If anything, he would care about the woman's earrings, the woman's beads, the woman's wrapper, then the babies, then this other son, the second wife is delivering, he's caring about the omogo, that's the child christening and everything, even caring for the in-laws, the father's mother, the mother's father, the mother's the wife's mother, the wife's father, his own mother, and everything. So I mean, in those days, I mean, that's what men were, you know, and that's the kind of, I mean, I come from, my father is quite traditional with his responsibility of provider and protector. So, I mean, for me as a woman, I feel comfortable when I attract a man who understands that his first role is to protect me and then to provide for me. So when I see any other situation, it's just not the way God made it. I mean, stinginess for a man is not, probably comes from, now I'm answering the second question because I know you're going to ask me, but stinginess comes from a place where maybe he has been deprived. Maybe he comes from a family where rice is not even enough to go around, and instead of the parents taking care of them and giving them the rice, they probably think about giving it to their neighbors, or think about giving it to church first before taking care of them, or thinks about, no, it's not bad to give to church, but I mean, parents should also be responsible, because you see, your family is your first ministry. You know, your children, the wife that God has given you, or the husband that God has given you, is your first ministry. You know, your ministry is to the person. So maybe that person comes from a home where, okay, so I have to be stingy about it. Now that I got rice, I got to be meticulous about it. I got to protect it. So in that way, I can't give to you, because giving to you will shorten my ration. Oh no! You know, so when people come from people are a sum total of their past. It's a cause and effect world. Yes, it's when people have gone through several bad experiences, it alters their character. They become who they are, but probably we're not born like that. You know, or that person has come from a series of relationships where he's given and given and given, and probably he's fallen into the hands of lucky girls. You know, the kind of Lagos girls, like, I mean, I'm a lucky girl, I'm a VI girl, but I mean, I don't say that to say that all lucky girls are bad, but you know, he's probably falling into the hands of aristo girls who, you know, them too, they've been so hurt that, you know, I mean, they don't even see clearly when a man, you know, gives them as a matter of love. So you see a man who's giving you, he's earning 100,000 and he's pushing you 60,000 there. Babe, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of sacrifice. You know, you don't compare the 60,000 naira of a man who earns 100,000 to a man who's your sugar daddy, who's giving you 5 million. I mean, he's got when he was at your age, he was not giving his wife 5 million because he didn't have it.
He didn't have
it. You know, that's not love. You don't compare that. So that man has probably gone through a series of experiences where he keeps giving to these girls, and it looks like, you know, when you give to a woman, she takes you for granted. So all of a sudden, you are now in his life at the point where he's frugal. He doesn't see giving as love anymore. He sees giving as I'm giving you myself. In fact, I know a man who you know, because his giving is attached to his love, he kind of withdraws the giving, because he feels that if he gives you, he loves you. Like he, you know, for some people it's like sex. You know, it's like intercourse. When they have intercourse with a lover, that's their greatest resistance. It feels like they've given you themselves. You know, that's also where giving is to some people. So because they don't want to give themselves all out, they hold back their finances. For me, if I give you, I love you.
All right, maybe let's talk about this streamlining to to female counterpart now. Does it apply does this thing you just said apply to we women? Because now, before you came in, Pep and I were talking about, what you mentioned that, okay, it was the producer of the show, she said there's a story, a lady, her husband was the one providing for the family, doing a lot out of the little he had, not knowing that this lady earns more than him, and had bought a car for her brother, had properties elsewhere. I didn't tell him, and he was stretching himself.
That trended on social media. I think it was early this year.
She wasn't contributing.
It was. I followed that story when it trended, and that marriage was at the brink of breaking. She spoke out because she needed advice. You know, she had even been building a house. Her father knew about it, and then she had even been straining or sending her brother out of the country, or sending him money, or buying him an Uber and all of that. And the husband didn't know. The thing is, maybe that woman has gotten into some experiences where the woman contributes and then the man still cheats, and then you're asking yourself, why am I even doing this? We got to come to points where we are good by ourselves, for ourselves. It's who we are. You don't begin to act bad because another person is acting bad. The greatest response to bad is good. The greatest response to somebody's wickedness to you is for you to still be the good person that you are. So you won't blame that woman. Maybe she's had experiences. She's a married woman. Maybe she's had friends who shared gory experiences of how bringing her 50 and the husband bringing her 50. The husband is probably taking the other 50 and giving to his side chick. You know, there are men that when you give your everything, they still would abuse you.
But in this case, the man was overstretching himself.
My point is, you would not blame the lady because she's probably is acting out her experiences. What she did, was it good? Oh no, it wasn't good. It wasn't the best thing to do. If you notice in that social media thread, she was asking for help. You know, Nigerians are not very kind with words, especially when Nigeria is now the poverty capital of the world. They kept dragging her. But some of the kindest words that she ever received is, you can make it happen. You can mend your marriage. It has happened. Now your husband knows. Right? So what you do, you bring your 50 or you contribute. It all depends on what you agree on during the courtship, right? The ideal thing is the man is the sole provider and protector of the home. Giving a woman that responsibility kind of emasculates her a little bit. But we are modern day women. We're trained to not just sit at home, but to, go out and work. So if the agreement you have with your partner is man brings 80, woman brings 10, so that it doesn't stretch her, so she can still be a lady. There's something about a man still giving you money even when you're earning. There's something about your husband still. Oh look, because I feel it's romantic. I like that.
How much I earn, be able to contribute.
It don't matter how much I earn. I want to use your money. I want you to take care of me, because that's how my daddy took care of me, right, as a young girl, because it gives me this feeling of you are my Lord. I am submitted to you. I bend for you, so you take care of me. I'd rather use the excess money I have to buy you land and not tell you, and probably give you a land document on your birthday. That's for my husband, right? Or to buy a land in the name of our child and not tell him until it's his birthday, right? So if the agreement is 80-20, then let's work at it. Men should not expect that women would become providers, because you see what, when the woman becomes a provider, it makes her a little masculine. It takes a lot for a woman. It takes a lot of fear of God for a woman who's earning so much and who's feeding you to respect you. That's common sense. It takes a lot for a woman that you've now turned into a man to be your provider, to feed you, and then still respect you, and then take care of your children, and still service you at night, and still go to work in this Lagos by 5 a.m. I mean, you know how it is in Lagos, even for men. With all you wake up at 5, you work, you get home by 10, 10 p.m. or 11. Sure. There's hardly any time for you to even, take care of your wife in the other room. By 4 a.m. you're back again. So you can imagine a woman doing all of that. And that's what we women in Lagos, we keep doing, especially for those who are married. So point is, that mistake has already been made, right? Now the husband knows, because there's something called forgiveness. He goes back into the relationship and tries to mend. It is not a ground for breaking up the marriage, especially when there are children. Because, even if you go to the next woman, she might do worse. That's the thing. She might do worse. So thing is, if that marriage can be mended, right? So if you ever have a stingy partner, what do you need to do?
Exactly.
You need to be patient.
I was going to ask you.
You should not keep answering the questions.
Yes, I was going to ask that question. That's nice.
She's
a journalist. So.
It's a lot of work. You got to be patient, and you got to love that person. Because love is the only thing that can keep you through the process.
But it's difficult to love a stingy partner.
That's the thing. That's why you have to love the person with the love of Christ, if the person is your husband.
Okay.
If the person, because it's in a marriage that, okay, there's nothing else I can do. If it's dating and you're sure that I can deal with this, so you just don't worry about it, because you're not bound, right? And even if it's a relationship and it's someone that you know that the good outweighs the bad, then you probably want to start talking to the person. Let the person go through courses. Let the person talk with a therapist. It can be a 3-month plan, and the person will begin to work. But if the person is a born again Christian, then let the person just listen to messages and open his soul up to the Lord, in that regard, and get help. I tell you something. So stinginess is not something that we do in relationships alone. I realize that even in my relationship with God, when I give God my pocket, I fall in love with him more. You know why? Because you see, money is a thing in our lives. Especially if you live in Nigeria, where poverty rate is high. So you know that, and your father is not Dangote, or your father is not, an Otedolo or something, and you have to work. So when you work and make the money the legit way, you realize that spending it is something that you have to be you have to be circumspect about. Yes. So when you give your money, you know that thing about when people pay, they pay attention. When you begin to give me your money, Margaret, you begin to attach a lot of importance to me, because that's where your hard-earned money is. So when you begin in a relationship, when you begin to give your man, it's you saying, I value you beyond the normal. When you begin to give, when he begins to give to you, have you noticed that when men give to you, they value you more? Like when a man begins to invest in you, haven't you noticed that, men, Igbo men especially, will train a woman in school, spend 4 years, and if that woman ever breaks their heart, they're as good as saying, I want to commit suicide.
True.
Why? Because, especially for a man in the East, his money is a big thing, is his investment.
It's even said to know the riches of an Igbo man. Look at his wife.
You can imagine. So yes, the woman is the woman's. The woman is the man's jewel. The woman in the eastern setting of Nigeria is the man's investment. So what are we saying? When a man invests in you, especially, normal men. No, I don't mean sugar daddy men. I mean men, Lagos men who are good, who are hustling for their money, who are earning their monies, who are not just some money misroad kind of men, right? So when a man begins to invest in you, it's not just monetary investment. It could be working on your vision. It could be working on your psyche. It could be working on your look. When he's giving, he's not stingy with investing in you, because that's all giving is giving. It's not just monetary, not giving monetarily alone that is stingy, right? When he begins to invest in you, when he begins to build you, he values you. And it is what you put value on that you put your money in, right? So if the person is, if you look at it, and I think I was trying to say that if you're ever going to be with someone who's stingy, then you got to be patient. If you want to be with a person, if it's a marriage, you got to be extra patient, and you got to pray. If your man or your woman is open to talking to therapists and getting help, because like I told you, it could be his childhood experience. It could be his last marriage. It could be his relationship experience. It could be his parents. It could be that the father was always giving and giving and giving to the mother, and the mother was not appreciative. So it could be their past, right? For other people, it could be him saying, I don't care about you. Can you take a walk already? So please take a walk already.
I like that.
But it even said that nobody is stingy. It's only the value they attach to you that makes them give to you. Because a man can be stingy to you, but it's very...
And that guy's going to give me a lot of money. And that guy's going to give me a lot of money.
And he's begging Mary, please, can I take care of your...
And can I tell you something? And I'm telling him, no. Guess what? He's begging me, can I take care of your hair? And I'm like, no, I got my own money. And he feels even more challenged to do that. You know, like she said, what one man is to another woman is probably and the opposite he is to just another woman. It all depends on where you are. Exactly. It's like whether it's you as a girlfriend or you as a boyfriend, it depends on the value that the person attaches to you. And please, there's something, please, stinginess is not something to cope with, because you see, if he's doing it in the relationship or in the courtship and he's not changing, this is the reason you will give birth and he would abandon you in a hospital and expect you to pay. Especially if you have the tendency of taking care of yourself. You know, financially independent women, they have a harder time.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, we do have a harder time. I thank God I'm not. I refuse to be a financially independent woman.
We have to wrap up the segment right now. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. You literally didn't allow us to ask so much questions because you were proactive.
You were proactive in answering.
She's a podcast journalist, so what do you expect? An independent woman, even though she does not like to say that. All right, then we are going to take the social media.
I am dependent, please.
All right. Because you know the going through a stingy relationship.
I'm dependent, please. And the man is a leader.
Yeah, correct. I agree with that. And I like the fact that you brought in the place of God because you're a Christian, of course. But we have some people who are not even Christians. So I'm sure following some rules, like you said, it's not something to cope with. So what you can cope in a relationship, don't even bother yourself.
Exactly.
All right, we'll just go straight into the social media buzz right now. And Mary is going to be joining us to do this. You look surprised, but we have you already. So, okay, the social media boss said, my mother sat me down as a 5-year-old girl, said, look, Wale, there is no money on ground. The school you are going, we can't afford it. But you have a scholarship and you have to be first in class till primary 6 to keep it up. I will sit and study with you. And so we did. Then he said Nigerian parents, and he put a hand up for them. So she learned a lot about Montessori education from studying with me to get that primary school scholarship. When we sent my 2 other siblings home for school fees, or rather when they sent my 2 other siblings home for school fees, she decided to homeschool them throughout primary school. Wow. The last one didn't go at all. She was homeschooled. When we were struggling after school teaching for students in our area, it became Iyawale lesson. People brought their kids from far and wide. She decentralized Montessori education in motion teaching it to everyone who cares to know. And one of the happiest moments in my life was stepping out of plane to see her waiting, and I prostrate flat on the floor. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama. Thank you. All what you did, your sacrifices, our parents tried. They did all they could with their little resources. God bless them. And of course, that's quite an emotional one there. Okay, now the reaction from social media users said, Erin Freak said, may God bless our parents with long life. They will be alive to enjoy the fruit of our labor. Kids Help, now that I'm paying school fees, honestly, I respect my parents more. Then replying to Kids Help, B Fashion Store says, honestly, anytime I have any huge payment to pay on my toddler, I remember my mom call her and say, thank you, mommy, you tried. It's no easy. Chai. Waist cutting onion, someone said, the stepping out of the plane and prostrating flat got me real good, mother. Nia said, the sacrifices of many parents, and I pray they reap the seeds they have sown in our lives. Amen. Shout out to every parent intentionally raising their children. Now, this is just more like what Mary said at the beginning of our conversation. She said her father was the protector and the provider. You know, sometimes I don't have a child yet, but Pep, you have a child. Like, I can imagine paying school fees for a child in crèche. Like, what are you learning? A friend of mine showed me the receipt. Rather, my uncle. It was about 750,000 naira. This child was
in Lagos.
It was Port Harcourt. Yeah, it was. This one was not even up to 1 year plus, and you're paying 350k. I told him, sir, is it that you're paying for the child to go and sleep and play? Because I don't understand what you're paying 350,000.
So you can imagine how much he's going to pay in primary school already.
That's an outrageous fee, but then he had to do it as a parent.
Definitely.
So Mary, please, what's your thought on? You heard the story how the mother had
it goes a lot to talk about or to depict the resilience of the Nigerian parent. You know, you've got to be a resilient person to be a Nigerian.
Correct.
Have you noticed? We are strong people. Nigerians are very strong people. Yeah. Yes, we hardly break. I mean, if you could go through 3 years of, you know, the dollar being maybe 250 or 300, and now it's 500 per dollar, and then you probably wanted to buy a car you'd have bought for 1.2, you're probably buying for 2 million naira, and you're still making the money to buy it at 2 million. I mean, Nigerians are very resilient people, right? So that's a resilient mother. That's a mother who says, I am going to be with you as you're going through it. I may not have all the qualifications just yet, but I trust that I'm going to go through this process. And she's not just teaching her child, she's helping other people.
Beautiful.
Nigerian parents.
That's very beautiful. Thank you so much. We've run out of time, really, and we just have to end the show at this point in time. Thank you so much for joining us. I bet you had a great time listening to all of us, especially our guest for today, Mary.
All right, yeah. Thank you so much. Like Pepetra already said, we appreciate you. Please join us tomorrow, 8 a.m. on the dot for another. It's Friday. You can't afford to miss it. I'll take a quote from David Blinkley that said, "A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him." A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him. Like I said, if life throws lemon, you make lemonade. If life throws you pepper, you make pepper soup. So I'll just make it go round now. I'll introduce myself. Or rather, Mary will introduce herself. Pepesha will do that, and then I'll do that. Okay, Mary?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is Mary Chinda, Nigerian broadcast journalist and Nigerian gospel minister.
Beautiful. This is Perpetual Fasa Repeater, broadcast journalist.
Well, we are all podcast journalists. My name is Margaret Opera, of course. Broadcast journalist also, and Ivan TV staff. My name is Margaret again, and thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
Mama, you're coming to Lagos. Banga. Baby, Mama just called me now. She's coming to see you. She asked me to tell you to make banga soup for her. And she's close to the house. Oh.
How do you expect me to prepare banga in just few minutes? I have a solution for you.
Really?
Sabi cook the banga. Not going to enter my family.
Pali banga is used in making other exotic dishes such as banga jollof rice, banga eforiro, banga asaro or yam porridge, banga egusi, and many more. Pali banga is easy to open, no preservatives, no cholesterol, and no coloring. Approved by NAFDAC. Manufactured by Pali Agro Products Limited. Available in all leading stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Pali banga, natural palm fruit extract for tasty African cuisine.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do now make you go for the open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again. My brother no waste time again. Just go buy banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yummy yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447, 080 35 64 4436, 070 66 63 8213. Banga Fresh Palm Fruit Extract.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services, and meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners.
Healthcare delivery in Nigeria has faced major challenges towards achieving universal health coverage. While significant progress was made in the first decades after the country's independence in 1960, the economic downturn resulting from the plummeting of oil price, of which Nigeria was dependent, led to a series of twists and turn in the health sector. Today on People's Voice, we will be discussing access to proper health care in Nigeria for people who are ill. My name is Kaliobi. I'll be right back after this break.
A lot of our healthcare problems are not necessarily clinical, they're economic. And we need to look at the economics of our country, we need to look at how we spend money, and see if there are any ways that we could more efficiently distribute resources. So the first one is task shifting. And the reason why I advocate so strongly for task shifting is because of simple statistics. You can see that in countries like Greece, there's 116 doctors for every 100,000 people, a surgical specialist for every 100,000 people. In Germany, they have 112 doctors for every 100,000 people. In places like the US, slightly fewer, they have about 54 doctors for every 100,000 people. In Nigeria, we have 1 doctor for every 100,000 people. And if you look at a West African context, because we fly a lot around the region, we're operational as an air ambulance in 11 countries, Mali, Chad, Togo, you can find 0.5, 0.3, 0.1 doctors for every 100,000 people.
Welcome back from that break, and you know on People's Voice I don't always do it alone, I'm always with a guest, and this time I am with Eboluwa Precious.
Hello, good afternoon.
I love the smile, I can lie.
Thank you.
Eboluwa, who was diagnosed with blunt disease. Wow, and when we're talking the other time, I'm like, blunt disease? I've never heard of it, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So, and she'll be talking about the access to mental health in the case of our health, and also in Nigeria, how we'll get treated in hospitals and all that. So, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
I love your skin color. I'll steal from you.
Thank you.
So, let's talk about your journey in you finding out at a young age that you have blunt disease and confused at some point that why are we doing this? Why am I going through this? So share with us.
Okay, so first off, growing up, I had no idea I had a problem. I was just a little baby playing around. After my first surgery, I really don't know much about the first surgery, but as at my second surgery when I was 12, I think that's when I became aware of the situation. And it was quite challenging. Friends, meeting people, having to feel secluded, having to not look like what every other person looks like, because it was physical, it was obvious, it was something everybody could see. So I think I grew up to the consciousness that I was not like every other person. And growing up after the second surgery, I think where I'm more experienced was when I clocked 18, where guys started coming in. I was now in the tertiary institution. I think that was when I really faced the challenge. Like, I knew what I was doing. And yeah.
So how did how did you get this disease? Is it you just woke up one day and boom?
No. Blunt disease is actually caused by several issues during pregnancy. That's from the mother, either by by malnutrition, or stress. Probably she didn't go for antenatals, and there's some drugs she was probably supposed to be taking she did not take, but purely due to malnutrition and stress during pregnancy.
You know, we ladies are human. As a whole, we can be very, very inquisitive. So knowing you have blunt disease and finding out the causes of it, did you go asking your mom, like, how did she come about? Wasn't she eating properly, or what went wrong?
Okay, so I knew the name during the process of my third surgery. I just knew I was physically challenged the first few years of my life. And my third surgery happened when I was 21. So we were both in front of the doctor. There was no point asking anything. She was listening as the doctor was saying it, so there's no point.
That means she didn't know all the while she was pregnant for you?
She knew.
She knew that. She knew. Yeah, that's what I was saying. She knew that she
knew she was pregnant. There are a whole lot of stuff surrounding my childbirth, which I would not really love to go into, because she might watch the video and might not like it.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
but she heard when the doctor was talking about it, so there's really not to talk about.
Okay, there was something you said when we started. You said that when you were 18, that guys started coming around. Looking at you,
That's because first of all, I'm putting on a long trousers.
You know, Yorubas would say omokbo. Like,
okay.
So you're saying when guys started coming around, did you have any problem mixing with friends, or you felt you were different?
Okay, mixing with my female friends, I had no problem because I'm an extrovert. But taking pictures, I had a problem, because I do not like the fact that when we take pictures, I'm the only one, I'm the odd one in the picture, like obvious something is wrong. But when it comes to guys, first off, I didn't have advances like every other normal girl would. Second of all, I've had situations where we get to talk online, he's already enjoying my personality, then we meet in person, and then it's just seen that. I've had experience of having to plan a date, and you know when probably you drop at the other side and the person's at the other side, and then he just sees you and zooms off.
I think I'm still going to bring it back to people's voice, because I think this is getting
emotional.
So 3 different surgeries. What was the health process for this, and did you get the proper health care you wanted?
Okay, like I said, the first 2 surgeries I really cannot say much about because I was not so matured. But this third surgery, I was involved every single way. So proper access to proper health care from the government, no. But I got access to a foundation.
Okay.
So it's a foundation owned by Baba Jebu.
Oh, okay.
So there's a segment in the hospital that deals with social amenities. So if you need help financially, you go there and they look for sponsors, foundations who help payment of fees to help you out. So Baba Jebu was the one that paid, I think, over 300,000 of my surgery fee. I think.
So how much in total did you spend?
Just the surgery fee was 800 plus thereabouts. But total that I spent, I really cannot say, but I'm very sure it's more than 2 million. Very
and
sure.
You're still going to go for more surgeries?
No. This is the last surgery.
Okay, this is the last one.
By God's grace.
This
is the last surgery.
So in what case or what part of your body are you having? Because the blunt surgery disease, you said it affected one part of your body. That's more of the legs. So which part of your body?
It's my left leg.
Your
actually.
left leg. Okay.
It's because I'm actually putting on a trouser. Just my left leg, actually. It's just my left leg. Just my left leg.
So how is the process of the surgery? How is it like? Is it just normal sew in and sew out, or do you have something inserted in it?
Okay, so the first 2 surgeries were plaster of Paris, that's the POP. But this last surgery was quite more tedious. It's called external fixation. that's where they use the iron. Okay, let me explain. This second surgery, I had an internal implant. That's where they put an iron to support your bones in the body, but it's not visible outside. Then the third surgery, I got the internal implant out, and they got to put in an external implant. It's called external fixation, where the iron is fixed around the leg through the bones. It goes through the bones out of the leg. Just a framework. Then after, that's a major surgery. Then after, to remove the external fixation, you go through a minor surgery where you now transit to the plaster of Paris. By the way, I took the external fixation for a whole year. Then you move to the plaster of Paris, which I took for 6 weeks. And I've been going through several procedures. Like on Monday, that's last week Monday, I just went through an excision process. There was a part of the leg that is always bringing out extra growth. So the doctor was like, if care is not taken, it might infect the bone. That's infection. So we need to cut that part off. And that's what I went to do on Monday. So that's how the journey started. That's the process. But if you're talking about how I enjoyed the process, it was not really good. Because even after I came out of the surgery, I can remember very clearly, because I spent hours in the surgery. That's over like 7 hours. And when I came out, the portholes from the theater to the ward, you know, they just fixed the iron, so it's quite very sensitive. The movement of the, what's it called?
Trolley.
I don't even know what the name is. Let's just call it a bed. Let's just call it a bed, but I don't think that's not the name.
Bed.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So the movement from the theater to the ward was hell, because portals after portals. So I was like, it was that was like the most painful part of, because that was when I started I just started receiving the pain of the surgery. You know, after anesthesia, you don't feel any pain till after. That was when I started feeling the pain, and that was where my pain started. Yeah.
I imagine myself going through that. I'll just come down Sarah. So how long did it take your leg to heal, and what was the role of the government medical professionals in making sure you get all you needed to get better?
Okay, first off, my leg is still healing. It's still healing, because I did my surgery August 16, 2019. Until now, I'm still going for clinical checkups. I'm still going to the hospital for appointments. It's still healing, actually. My bones are not yet grown, like they've not matured so much to gain strength. I just started working on my own. It's now up to 6 months, so it's still healing. Role of my doctors. Honestly, my doctor is amazing, because most times he spoke to me like a doctor, like a daughter, because he knows that I've been through the process a lot of times. So I think it was more of, this will not happen again. Because I switched to doctor after the same doctor treated me the first time, same doctor treated me the second time, but it was a different doctor this third time. So he was really into the case. So personally, my doctor was doing well, although he always complained about the government not giving them enough money and how the system is just not good, and he always complained. But personally, I think he was personally interested in my case. So he was good. And even till now, he's a very busy person. He's the chief consultant, like, under my case, like, for people under my situation. Yet, when I have pains and I message him on WhatsApp, he responds. So my doctor is actually a good one.
Oh, thank you, doctor. And you know, when you look at the hospital or the health sector in general in Nigeria, sometimes you have to frown. You tell yourself, then I have to go to the private hospital to get what I want. So there's the strike thing don't happen, doctors don't go on strike and all that. So if we have to talk about the health sector in Nigeria, especially, okay, the general hospitals, we know the ill treatments we get sometimes. I remember when my sister was pregnant, though, and it was Bagada. I will not forget. And I wasn't the patient, but I knew the way I was treated. Even knowing that my sister had, she did the CS to give birth, we weren't allowed to even stay with her to help her carry the baby. So if we're going to talk about that, what do you think should be done about this whole health wahala, let me put it like that, in Nigeria?
I think first of all, they need some restructuring, because the whole structure is actually very bad. I've had experiences where, because I'm in the ward and we get to see, my ward is actually now facing the emergency entrance, so we see as cases are coming in and going out. There's this woman I had beside me. She came in, she had an accident, she came in half dead, half alive, some sort of, and they literally left her for 3 good days. They just concluded that she cannot survive, and they left her for 3 days. It was after 3 days, realizing that she had not died, they started attending to her. That's not supposed to be. I feel like the job of every doctor is to ensure that that little life left is sustained, but I don't think they are really doing that. I think most of the doctors are not really into it because the structure has not given them a favorable condition, and so because the money is not coming in, they don't give in their all into the job. The structure is really not good because I can remember the X-ray when in Federal National Orthopedic Hospital now Igbobi, the X-ray unit is. There's one for the hospital and there's another that a private individual owns in the hospital. Okay. When I wanted to do my X-ray and I went to the, even doctors will tell you to go to the private side because they know that that's where the equipment that is needed to get what exactly they want to see is, which is not supposed to be. And so my first X-ray was 40K. If it was with the hospital, it will not be up to 40K because it's a federal hospital, they have the equipment. The same equipment I made when I was 12 is the same I made there at age 21, and things have changed. So it's not supposed to be, I think there's supposed to be a restructuring. I think they need to pump in finance, or I feel like they're pumping in finance, but some people are just holding it to themselves, which is not supposed to be. An hospital is not supposed to have potholes, knowing fully well that patients are coming in. Man, that pothole experience is something I would not even forget because it was in the night and the whole thing was jiggy. No, it's really terrible. I think they should the doctors should put in more effort. The government should be more involved because it feels like they've just secluded some set of people and they're not concerned if it's going well or not. Doctors still going through strike when there are patients in the hospital. It's really not cool.
Okay, now, oh wow. Really into this. I'll be right back with Ebola.
Thank you.
Nigeria faces tremendous health challenges. The statistics paint a grim picture. An average of 20,000 Nigerians travel to India each year for medical assistance due to the absence of a solid healthcare system at home. Nigeria is responsible for a high amount under 5 child deaths. UNICEF said in a recent report that preventable or treatable infectious diseases such as malaria, pneumonia, diarrhea, measles, and HIV and AIDS account for more than 70% of the estimated 1 million under 5 deaths in Nigeria. Another report by the WHO says that nearly 10% of newborn deaths in the last 1 year occurred in Nigeria. Furthermore, 5 countries accounted for half of all newborns deaths, with Nigeria third on the list. These are India with 24%, Pakistan with 10%, Nigeria with 9%, the Democratic Republic of Congo with 4%, and Ethiopia with 3%. Most newborn deaths occurred in 2 regions, South Asia 39% and Sub-Saharan Africa with 38%. While studies like the Global Burden of Disease show steady improvements in child survival rates, the persistent rate of avoidable deaths in Nigeria is deeply disturbing. 77% of black doctors in the US are said to be Nigerians. Nigerian doctor Oluyinka Olutoye, based in Houston, made history this year by bringing out a fetus from a mother's womb to remove a tumor, and then successfully returning the unborn baby to the womb. There's rarely any top medical institution in the US or Europe where you do not find Nigerians managing at the top level. There's a toxic mix of problems including inaccessibility of quality health care, poor hygiene, corruption, malnutrition, lack of access to safe drinking water, poor health infrastructure, fake drugs, insufficient financial investment, and lack of sufficient health personnel. Government's performance in the health sector has been abysmal. Investments in infrastructure has been poor, and major remuneration for health workers has created a massive brain drain to the US and Europe. The annual budget of the government for the health sector is 4.17% of the total national budget, which is equivalent to only $5 per person per year. Hardly a year passes without the major national strike by nurses, doctors, or health consultants. The major reasons for these strikes are poor salaries and the lack of government investment in the health sector. Unfortunately, many Nigerians cannot afford private hospitals. They are simply too expensive. Since financing is a major problem for patients, one would think that management of the National Health Scheme NHS through the Health Maintenance Organization HMOs would secure better quality health care. But corruption has crushed this opportunity and made quality medical care inaccessible for people who contributed to the system. The health sector, like other key sectors in the country, has failed largely to inept leadership. It is such a shame that despite the huge talents of Nigerians, which are on display in health sectors all over the world, our own health system is failing. Donor countries and multilateral organizations are aware of these challenges, but there's little they can do to improve the situation. What is the solution? I believe that Nigeria's policymakers and health professionals, including the Nigerian in diaspora, can come together and create a long-term blueprint for the sector. This should include a strategy for success in the next 25 to 35 years, with timelines and key performance indicators. Creating this blueprint and then making it a reality is the only way to make meaningful improvements in the health of Nigerians.
Welcome back from that break, and I am still with Eboluwa Precious.
Thanks for having me.
You're so precious. And see all the hair on my body keeps popping up because
So
of
sorry.
you. The story is touching. So still on people's voice, and let's talk about your post-surgery.
Okay.
So what are the things you have to be doing to stay healthy?
Okay, I think that was where the real deal started from. Because after the surgery, I spent just 2 weeks in the hospital and I went home. By the way, I spent most of my time at my grandma's place. So the first few times, okay, for the whole 1 year I had the external fixation on, I did not really have my bit.
Okay.
So I mopped my body all through 1 year. That was, I don't know, that was so painful because, you know, when you feel heat, but you cannot pour water on your body. And there were times I ruggedly told my grandmother I want to have my bit today. So I would really, literally, like, she would literally hold the leg and just to feel the coolness of water on my body. And that happened like twice in a year. It was actually fun because I like to have fun in the situation because I know that there's nothing I can really do about it. So just because I'm an extrovert, which helped me a bit, I just had fun with the whole process. So I had my bed just twice and it was quite hilarious.